So as a Chicago native, I've got some opinions towards what's been going on. You know, if you pay attention to the news, you'll know there's a lot of activity going on with ICE and Trump threatening to send troops here, blah, blah, blah. As a white guy, I'm not in any danger right now. That might change in the future. But, there's only so much you can do. I've seen a lot of footage and whatnot coming out of the ICE detention center in Braidwood. Seems to be a lot of activity going on down there. We drove past it once or twice. We've thought about going down there, but, it could be kind of dangerous. So, first of all, shout out to the people that are protesting there day after day, because that takes a lot of balls. It's a dangerous move to make. Now there's some movement in a town not far from me that the National Guard is mobilizing towards. Pritzker, our governor, has been fighting back. Generally speaking, people in Illinois don't mind Pritzker. There's been a lot of back and forth, of course. Historically, we haven't had the great governor, the greatest governor. So, relative to our other governors, he hasn't been terrible.
With the National Guard now deployed, overnight protesters taking to the streets of Chicago. Aerial images showing protesters moving towards a Trump hotel, but then turned around by police and guardsmen. 500 Texas and Illinois-based National Guardsmen called up, some stationed at the Broadview, Illinois ICE Processing Center to provide additional security.
It's in Broadview? Yeah, they've been as far as I know, the National Guard is in Elwood, which is about 15 minutes south of me.
The president ramping up his attack on the mayor and the governor who called.
Now, the mayor, Chicago's mayors historically have not been, posed in a good light. But Pritzker, generally speaking, has a pretty good track record here in Illinois.
The president calling for their arrest in an online post. Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. But the governor...
I mean, if it's a federal government operation, I don't see what Chicago would have anything, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of activity regarding Chicago police officers and doing what they can to protect citizens against the ICE officers. But, of course, they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? It's kind of a Mexican standoff between ICE officers and, our local police department. That's a rough situation to be in. Cops, generally speaking, don't get portrayed in a positive light. So, to be stuck in that position is not a good one to be in.
Calling the president a coward, saying he has dementia.
He's demented.
I mean, yeah. Well, hold on a second.
Literally unhinged. And this is somebody who's so...
I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know if saying the president has dementia and calling him demented would be... I wouldn't consider it the same thing. I think those are two different things, but,
insecure that he lashes out...
Insecure, definitely. I would definitely agree with that one.
Pretending that he can come arrest people for no reason at all. He can't.
I generally, me personally, I enjoy Pritzker. I voted for him, so there hasn't been much that has turned me off to the way he governs, but it's just me.
Gonna do it.
This afternoon, a federal judge will hear arguments on whether to block their deployment after warning the administration Tuesday, saying, if I was the government, I would strongly consider taking a pause.
Yeah, let's hope.
It's a great city. It can be saved. Other cities are gone. I mean, they're lost. They can get better, but they're just they've been so decimated.
President Trump.
What? No, that's not true. First of all, Chicago is great. Yeah, yes, there are, some pretty dangerous parts, but it's not... It's a lovely place to be. Even in the dangerous parts, like, you know, yeah, you don't want to, like, you know, go walking around with, like, thousands of dollars in your pocket. But you know, I would work in those areas a lot of times, and I never felt, you know, super unsafe. Would I, like, stop for gas? Probably not, but I have before and walked away fine.
Trump has repeatedly said Chicago is overrun by crime, even though Chicago police stats show crime is down 34% from 4 years ago. For now, officials say the guardsmen will not be in a direct law enforcement role. This is a peaceful protest. After weeks of clashes, local officials in Chicago accuse ICE agents of using excessive force.
Yeah, the stuff I've seen, they're definitely using what I would consider excessive force. It's been pretty brutal. I've seen people shot with paintballs. You know, a lot of stuff at that ICE facility, and it's been pretty brutal. Pretty brutal.
Video showing agents shooting protesters with pepper balls.
Yeah, or pepper balls, whatever they are. Whatever they are.
In the head. You can hear the shots continue as he gets back on his feet. President Trump is now threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act, a 19th century law allowing him to mobilize troops to aid domestic law enforcement.
And once again, this could all be short-lived. A federal judge later today expected to hear arguments from city and state officials who are seeking to block the deployment of the National Guard. Robin?
We'll see what happens there. All right, Alex.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.